Claire, very nice to meet you. How do you do?
Would love to ask you, how did you combat any expectations that might have been put on you, whether that was on yourself, on fans, on the network?
I don't think about it. That's the easiest way to combat that stuff. There's no point. I mean, I have done the show for a while, so it was about doing the same thing that I'd been doing, so I felt relatively capable.
So can you speak on any specific artistic intention that you had with this new series?
I wanted to make sure that we stayed faithful to the original show, but that we ceded the opportunity to grow and evolve out of the original show as well, so that we didn't get stuck just doing the same old. And hopefully we've succeeded.
And how would you say you've grown as an artist through this process?
I'm older, my hair's grayer, I'm a little bit more slouchy. It's been a good experience. I mean, to be honest with you, I've really liked working with the actors. That's been a joy. And they're easier to work with than dragons.
Can you talk about a favorite moment on set when you were filming this? It just clicked, where you're like, this is why we're doing it.
There's a scene in episode 7 called we call it the eye for an eye scene, where our two main female leads, Olivia Cook and Emma Darcy, get to go at each other, and I loved filming that.
Hi, how are you? Claire, nice to meet you.
Hi.
One question for you. What was your first impression when you first read the script?
Oh, wow. I think when I read them, I actually thought, my goodness, this is epic. You know, because someone has described it as being Shakespearean, in that sense of the language is still language that we understand, but there is something, well, what Ryan and the writers were able to do was to somehow marry a modern sensibility, but with kind of medieval type language, but not so alienating. So that was the thing. It was like, oh my God, I can't wait to actually say some of these words. And it was a joy to do them.
And so, being that you worked on the original Game of Thrones, what kind of themes did you bring from the original to this new series, if any? Or was it a completely new approach?
There's definitely, well, let me say it this way. I mean, we wanted to make sure that the DNA stays intact and that we connect to the original. However, there is obviously, it's all new characters, and so we felt it's all new themes too. So there's going to be a ton of new material that I've written for this, for sure.
And what was your favorite part about working on the music?
Well, I was just really excited to get back into that world. I mean, I worked on the original for years. Obviously, we had 8 seasons, and now it's been a couple of years. And then when they sent me the first episode, I got really excited again, because immediately by just seeing the visuals, I felt like I'm back in that world, and so I was just excited to be able to write that kind of music again.
So I want to ask you, what was your reaction when you first read the script?
Oh, excitement. Well, to be fair, it takes a while to give you the real scripts, because all the auditions you get a dummy script. But yeah, loved it. And then particularly the slow burn of the characters, and then the more scripts you read of the series, it gets exciting. And
how did you prepare for your role, for your character?
Well, I got up in the morning and got picked up, and I'm being glib. No. It's weird. When I read it, he felt like a British Army officer to me. He felt very loyal, very procedural, very honest. And in that world of Thrones, that's quite a contrast. There aren't a huge amount of people that have gone through, the previous incarnation and this, that are decent, honest people. And I think he felt that. But then we all feel we're decent, honest people. Even the worst amongst us are like that.
A highly anticipated show.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to surprise fans the most when watching this series?
I hope it's to do with the love of the characters, because I think they're really fleshed out. I think some of the writing is wonderful between a lot of the relationship between Alicent and Rhaenyra, the king and his brother. There's those dynamics land really quickly, and the writing only constantly fleshes that out, and then you get people getting eaten by dragons, and then the crazy stuff happens, and they'll get excited by those little Easter eggs too.
My last question for you: what did you learn about yourself as an actor while filming?
That's a good question. What did I learn the most about myself? That I'm doing all right. That actually, I think I'm doing okay still. And sometimes you have a wobble and you're like, am I any good? Am I still right to be in this position, in this profession? And I think I just felt very privileged and thought, yeah, well, I must be doing something right. So I think it's that. Yeah, the confidence grew a little bit, I suppose. Yeah.
What was your first honest impression when reading the script after booking the role?
Wow, I think my initial impression was just this is incredible writing. The show is so well formulated. I will say it took me a few reads to break through it. It felt like a language barrier. I'm not into fantasy at all. I mean, I kind of am now because this show has pushed me towards it, but it's never really been my genre. And it felt very Shakespearean when I first read it. And so it took a couple of goes through to actually understand what on earth was going on. But once I got there, I was like, wow, this is amazing.
How does this character compare to your roles in the past as an actress?
I think Alison is so different. She's very similar to me in a lot of ways. I think midway through shooting, the lines sort of blurred between Alison and Emily. We're very similar people in the way that our brains work, which is why I had so much fun playing her, because I got to know myself a lot more, which I've never had the privilege of doing on any other job.
And what surprised you? What did you learn about yourself as an actress when filming this role?
I think this role has pushed me to limits I didn't even know I could push. Limits I didn't even know existed, and suddenly I'm breaking through them. I think I've learned a lot about my emotional depth as a human being, aside from just an actor. And I have taken so much away from this, and I'm so appreciative of the team, especially Miguel. I think he respects us all as actors, and he knows our limits, and he helps push us in the right direction, and he's been such a support throughout the whole experience.
My last question for you: what are you hoping fans of Game of Thrones take away from this new series?
I hope that the fans from Thrones will see the series with open eyes. I hope they come into it with open arms. So far, I mean, I think I've been very welcomed by them, so I'm appreciative. I have a huge amount of respect for the existing fans, but I hope they recognize that it is a new show. But I think we all just want them to feel like they're coming home. You know, the safety and the comfort that they found in the original show, it's the same world, and I hope they feel like they're coming back to that world.